I think the marquee matchup, which is the top, I guess, ranking matchup, if you want to call it that, I mean, it's going to be obviously Auburn Ole Miss, right? You're getting 10 versus 18, and the boys are coming to play. What do you see in this? I mean, does Bo Nix redeem himself against Matt Corral? I mean, does this Auburn team figure out a way to stop the aerial assault that is Ole Miss? Is there something in the tea leaves? Do you think because they're in the state of Alabama, they might have gotten some of that water flowing from Tuscaloosa into Auburn that might give them something? What do you see this game at? Because I think this is a compelling game. Because when you look at it, I mean, it's only 2.5 points is a spread on this, so they expect it to be tight. What do you see for Byron Harsin and Bo Nix and company and Tank Bigsby?
Well, look, I mean, I watched them up close and personal 2 weeks ago. Before that, they're coming off of a bye, right? They were in Arkansas 2 weeks ago, and so I watched them up close and personal. And look, I've been critical of Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix is a guy. I still think Bo Nix has got a low ceiling in a sense of being able to put the team on his back and go win the ball game with big time throws consistently. But he's a very good complementary piece. If they can run the football well, then he can throw the lollipop over the top. He will take the underneath throws if you give them to him and be accurate. And then if he's in a position where, hey man, it's a field goal game late, he's got that Johnny Hustle in him, man. He's got the ability to pull a drive out of his tail and put his team in position to win the ball game. So maybe I ought to have a little more respect for him in particular. But I tell you, I like Ole Miss in this game, man. I like Ole Miss in this game, but they're both really good football teams. Here's the truth of the matter with this matchup is whoever wins this ball game, Max, two things. One, it sets that team up for an unbelievable late season SEC matchup with A&M. Both of these teams still have A&M on their schedule after this week, and A&M's getting hot. And these two teams, whoever wins, will have an A&M matchup moving forward that'll either keep Auburn trending towards a potential SEC West title, or keep Ole Miss trending towards a top 5 or 6 finish if they win out their season, right? So the game is an absolute monster game. I just think that when you look at how Ole Miss's defense played last week, they shut down LSU's run game in a big way and won a tighter ball game than it should have been. But I like Ole Miss in this game. Their defense is playing better. Offensively, they got the Heisman Trophy candidate and a wizard on the sideline calling plays. But I do think it's going to be a hell of a football game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you said. I think this winner is that inside track. I think Auburn creates a lot of problems with the West. If they beat Ole Miss, that Iron Bowl is going to be gigantic.
Huge. No question.
Huge. And I think that's kind of where we're at, where we want to see it. But Ole Miss, if they beat Auburn, now they're depending on Auburn to win that Iron Bowl, because that makes them leapfrog. And if not, like you said, they're going to put themselves in a very nice position come into the season. Texas A&M last year-esque type of position where you're kind of on the outside looking in, you're hoping something crazy happens.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of where you're at. And so both these teams have that momentum. Their arrows are both pointing up towards each other, and that's what's going to lead to a great clash. I just think that, like you said, Matt Corral, I mean, what can you not say about him? I mean, the dude is on a trajectory that's ridiculous. For this year, these circumstances, the year of the super senior and everything else, I mean, Matt Corral is just absolutely kicking butt, almost at 2,000 yards passing. I mean, and he spreads the ball around, plus those legs. Those legs can't be contained.
That's the thing, man. If these guys rattle off 10 or 11 wins this year, Max, you're going to have a hell of a time telling me that there's another quarterback out there that's carrying more of the load. And when the team wins 10 or 11 games, I didn't think this year that Ole Miss would win enough games for him to stay in the Heisman hunt down the stretch here. I mean, hell, they lost, I think it was 5 games last year where they scored 35 or more points. And so, I mean, I didn't think that they had a chance defensively to improve much. Well, they have. If they get to 10 wins or even 11 wins this season, and this kid stays healthy, he's going to win the Heisman. I mean, this kid, he carried the ball 30 times in one game. 30 times, Max.
Yeah.
I mean, this ain't no luck of the draw, scrambling around back there and going and making plays. I mean, these are designed runs, a lot of designed runs. And hey, Lane Kiffin's saying, hey, we're going to put this thing on your back, boss. And in the past, that's always meant we're going to throw it all over the park. But now he toted the rock 30 times in a game. I don't know what when I saw that number, I thought it was a mistake.
Yeah. Like, did they put the 3 in the wrong place? Was he running from a sack? No, he was carrying sacks of potatoes on his back. And like you said, when you lead the team, like Emory Jones, leading this team in rushing and leading his team in passing, but it's 2 totally different ways that you get to that point, right? I mean, that's like finding them little fingerling potatoes, and you find a big old Idaho spud. That's about the difference between these two, and I think that's what makes it so remarkable. I mean, he's toted the rock 100 times. That's ridiculous. The next closest guy, his main back, has toted the rock 74. Parrish has toted the rock 74 times. 26 more carries than your lead running back. So that's where I think, you're right. It's special because when I look around the country, I can't see anybody else except for like Bryce Young, because he's at Bama, because he has that scarlet and white, and crimson and cream, however you want to call it, that A on his chest, he gets the look. But I think when I look around, I'm trying to think who else. Kenny Pickett might be the next closest guy at Pitt. So this is Matt Corral's year, but he has, like you said, he has to win, and I think they will this weekend. So I think that's a good one, for us to keep an eye on. That's what I can't wait to see. That's going to be a 4:00 kick or 7:00 kick. That's a nighttime primetime game. So
man, it's big. It like I said, it sets up that next matchup. Both teams still have A&M on the schedule. Both teams still have their rivalry game on the schedule, the Egg Bowl, the Iron Bowl. It sets up for both. Whoever wins it sets up, for the next 3 or 4 or 5 games to be tremendous games and have a lot of meaning, and potentially put them in like I said, a top 6 ranking, an SEC championship possibly. This game is gonna really catapult one of these organizations or one of these programs to a whole nother level where the expectations go up. And I mean the end game for this season is big time.
Yeah, and just think about this: a first-year coach and a second-year coach.
Wow, man.
Kiffin versus Harsin, and this game is a top 25 matchup.
Hey, hire the right guy.
Yeah,
it goes back to LSU, man. I mean, LSU's gonna have a vacancy, man. Hire the right guy. Texas Tech has got a vacancy out there. There's too many really, really, really dynamic, good coaches out there right now to have a coach that doesn't develop quarterbacks, to have a coach that doesn't understand the importance of developing quarterbacks and really working the transfer portals and really working the grad transfer stuff. I mean, it's just, there's too many good coaches out there, and Lane Kiffin and Brian Harsin are 2 perfect examples of how you can find the right guy, commit to him, and run with it, man.